And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal show. My name is Gabor.
Hey, welcome along. I'm Alex. Going to check out this lovely reverb from Meris today, but please hit like and subscribe on our channel. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment down below in the video section where we keep them as pets.
Yes, you are pet comment viewers. And I just want to mention right from the start, this is provided by Meris Australia, or Studio Connections in Australia, so this is what we would call a sponsored video, and big thank you to Meris.
G'day.
/Studio Connection Australia. So, the Mercury X, Alex. Now, we did a video a little while ago with the Mercury 7, which you can watch here. Reverbs, basically. Now, this takes it to the X Dream. Let's see, that's what that X is for.
Unsubscribe.
I would. Basically, you've got 8 reverb algorithms. And then you've got just about limitless things you can do with it. I think they call it a modular reverb thing.
Ecosystem.
What he said. So what I thought today is, because this could become a 2.5 hour long video where you go through all the things.
Yeah.
I thought, well, just going to show a few clips here and there of us playing some sounds. And just roughly go through all the things you can do, because there's a lot you can do with it. And then maybe build a patch or 2 and see what happens. What are your thoughts? Chapter marks below, so if you want to skip ahead if you like, but why wouldn't you not watch all this? Like I was talking like this.
Definitely.
Yes, skip ahead. Okay, so basically you've got 8 reverb algorithms, right?
Cool.
And you've got, let's just start with that, right? So you've got a whole bunch of presets which you can there's 3 presets per bank, and then with these 2 buttons you can go up and down banks, right? And this is what's called a modifier or tap tempo. So this always relates to one of these. You can also, with this knob here, by turning it, you can go through the different presets. 80, what was it? 80 sounded pretty cool. Let's just stick with 80 just to begin with.
Sure.
And then just in a nutshell, right, you have these 4 controls. You have decay, you have pre-delay, you've got mod, and you've got mix. Now, they're always that. So at any time, you can access them. You get your decay time, you've got your pre-delay time, which is the time it takes from when it initially hits the guitar to when the reverb actually comes. It's a pre-delay. You've got modulation, and you've got the mix. So you can always access them. Plus, you have these 2 controls, which I think they call C1 and C2. So let's call them C1 and C2, which you see here on the side, and it tells you on the side what they do. And they are favorite controls. And you can, within any parameter, within anything, you can make those whatever controls you want them to be. So you can assign those to be anything. We'll get into all that later on as well. So should we just now, for example, let's look at 80, preset 80, and let's look at what the modifier does. And let's just quickly run through decay, pre-delay, mod, and mix, and then look at all the stuff you can do within it.
Very cool. So you know what you're hearing. Guitars are going through a UAD amp sim, which is a cleanish plexi thing, left and right in stereo, and via Logic to your iPhone. Now, guitar is a Warmoth parts guitar. This is a thing with some Kidman pickups. So, you know, it's rich mahogany.
And just want to say, make sure you listen to this with good headphones or through good speakers, because the stereo image is pretty cool on this. So, yeah. And that's preset 81, just bringing some shimmer stuff. I mean, in a nutshell, you've got tons of sounds in it. There's hundreds of videos out there where people go through all the presets. But what I thought we'll do now is we'll go to an empty bank, and then look at kind of what's all in there and maybe create a sound that you want.
Sounds great. Okay.
So let's find an empty bank. So you go through here, blank, 90. Let's go number 90, blank. Oh. So blank sounds like this. This is what blank sounds like. Now, again, you've got decay. Let's just quickly run through those 4 controls, right? So you've got decay, which you can go from, and it brings up, as soon as you touch that, it brings up that screen that sort of shows you where it's set.
Yep.
And you've got pre-delay, which it goes very long to pre-delay. So I think it goes up to 2 seconds or
That's silly.
2.4 seconds or something like that.
You're silly, Meris.
So it's a pre-delay, right? And then you've got the modulation here, so you can add a bit of modulation. It's like a vibrato-y sort of thing, fluttery sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got the mix, so you can go from all dry to very wet.
All wet, yeah.
So those are your 4 sort of main controls. And then with this at the moment, you have low and high frequency. So this just makes it brighter and darker that these are assigned to. But we can change them to be anything, and we will in a second. So this is with the low frequencies, high frequencies all the way down. So you can say how much content you want, but I mean, that's just a preset, right? Now to go into editing mode, all you do is you push this button. Now we're going into editing mode. Now we're basically in editing mode. Now within this is now where it gets a little bit complicated because it's all these bubbles, right? So you've got the center bubble, which is basically the category. So you've got a whole bunch of categories, and you change the categories by rotating this. So you've got the reverb category, which there you select the 8 different reverb types from one of the 8 different reverb types. And then by turning this, it gives you, you can change things within that, right? So you've got gates, it's all related to the reverb though, right? And structure is what they call the different types. So cathedral and plate and all those kind of ones.
Yep.
But then you also have, and let's just quickly run through all them. We won't use them all, but just so you know what they all are. So you've got your different reverb types. You've got dynamics. Now, dynamics is things like, again, I don't know if you can really read it down here, but down here you can change the type. So dynamics are things like compressors, but also a freeze function, for example. So you've got a freeze function, you've got limiters, you've got diffusion, you've got a swell, so you can make it so it kind of swells in as you're playing. So anything to do with dynamics is what you can do here, right? So that's for now. Let's just turn it off, right? Next one is preamp. So you can put... And again, within the preamp, you've got tons of different stuff. So you've got you can insert a volume pedal, but then you can also modulate that volume pedal and make it a tremolo and all that sort of stuff. You have a tube-style preamp, so it gives you drive. It gives you a transistor-style, op-amp style, or off. And within all that, you've got tons of parameters, and you can assign where you want it to be, whether you want it to be on the dry sound only, if you want it to be on the wet sound only, if you want it to be on both dry and wet sound, if you want it to be on the wet sound only, but before the reverb, after the it can change. It's limitless, right? So that's preamp. Then you have filter. Now filters, you can apply all different types of filtering, like a wah style thing, but also synth style filters. Again, you can modulate them. Just to show what there is. There's a ladder style. There's a state variable style. There is a parametric and off. And within all that, you have all different parameters as well. Next one is pitch. So you can either you can kind of almost like a whammy style thing, but you can also add harmonies that are polyphonic. So as you play a chord, it gives you polyphonic things like a shimmer style stuff. The ones that are there, polychromatic. You've got a micro shift, which is sort of a chorus thing, a lo-fi style thing, and off. And within that, again, lots of other parameters. You've got modulation, which is independent of this modulation.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of talking, but we'll get through all that just to get it out of the way. It's independent of that modulation, so you can modulate just about everything you want. Different types of modulation. You can apply it to everything. Again, where you want it in the chain, the location, you can change it. So you have a 70s chorus. You've got a vibrato. You've got a vowel mod. So it's like a what is it called? A comb filter. So it sounds like you're talking. You've got a tremolo. You've got hazy, which is kind of like a lo-fi kind of thing, I think. and off. And again, within that, all different parameters, and you can assign where you want it to be. Then we have mix, which is all your mix again. It goes in depth in what you can, where things are, and all. It's a lot. Then you've got modifiers, and this is where it gets interesting. Modifiers, you've got tons of different things. You've got so you can assign a modifier, for example, to this button. So modifier would be tap. You can assign it to be tap. You can also assign this to do any kind of turn on an LFO, turn off an LFO. I think you've got 6 LFOs that you can assign to different things with different wave shapes. You have a step sequencer. Let's just go through all this stuff. So you've got, for example, on here, the modifiers. Oh, no, this is the speed. We've got the speed. We've got to select the type of modifiers. Well, it shows you all here. So you've got the 16-step sequencer. You've got LFOs, and then you can set whether you want how fast and slow. I mean, you can assign it to just about any parameter. So that's what the modifiers do. You can also assign it to an expression pedal or external stuff, which we won't do in this, but you can kind of do it all with this, but limitless, right? Next, this is where you can assign expression pedal as well separately. So you can have it as a volume pedal. You can have it as an expression pedal for parameters, all that sort of stuff. There's tons of stuff you can do with it. You've got your global parameters as well, which have things like noise gate, MIDI information, like what MIDI channel you go for and all that sort of stuff. Whether you have spillovers between sounds, or, which I guess means buffered or unbuffered.
Tails and
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then it shows you system info, what your firmware and all that sort of stuff. They do updates. There's a USB in the back that you can plug in and update firmware, and then you go back to that screen. So I mean, that's basically all the stuff in there, right? That's what you can do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's much more in depth than that, but that's basically what you can do in a nutshell. So now, Alex,
G'day.
we've got 8, and I'll do it and show it to you in here because you can see it much better. But we've got 8 different reverbs. We've got an ultra plate, we've got a cathedra without an L. We've got a spring, a 78 room, 78 plate, 78 hall, prism, and gravity. I think all the 78 ones are kind of based on studio trickery from 1978.
Let's go 78 room.
78 room?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going into here now. We want to go into the structure. So we've got... Oh, no, this is pre-delay. No, we don't want that. We want... Oh, there's pre-delay too. You can do stuff with the pre-delay. I forgot about that before. You can actually turn it into delay because you can modulate the pre-delay and you can put it into a feedback loop and turn it into kind of a delay. But let's just start with the reverb. So you want the 78 room, did you say?
Sure.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Or hall?
No, something. I said something. Yeah, room.
Room. 78 room. So this is what the 78 room sounds like, just
Yep.
selecting it. So we selected 78 room. Less? Okay. Do you want less pre-delay? Or?
No, that's kind of cool, like the
Yeah, a little pre-delay.
slight flammy thing.
Do you want that much modulation? Or?
It's kind of cool.
Do you like it?
Surprised me, but
Okay.
I like surprises.
Okay.
It's very short now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting claustrophobic in that room.
So does that sound all right?
That's a room sound.
Okay. Now, we don't need a gate or anything like that, do we? You can change your mids, your bass, and see. Oh, actually, so here, if you, for example, bass, if you see there's those 2 little dots up the top, one is solid and one's just a circle.
Yep.
That means bass is assigned to this knob, treble is assigned to this knob. But if you want to make it mids, for example,
Yes.
all you got to do is you hold that in. Now that has become that. So any parameter, anything you want, you hold it in, and that becomes when you're in the on that display. That is now controls that.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do,
Very quick to assign those
very quick to
coders.
assign. So with this, you can change treble, you can change you can crossfade it. But let's just not worry about any of that stuff. Let's just move on to something else. Would you like to add some sort of dynamics to it? Like, would you like to make it some sort of a swell thing, or would you add some compression, or?
Let's see what compression does to it.
Okay, so this is compression. Now, also, do you want there's a location. It's called location. Do you want it to be on your dry signal and wet signal? Do you want it to be on your wet signal only, but before the reverb? Do you want it in an effects loop of the reverb? Do you want it before the reverb tank or after the reverb tank, or on both?
I don't know. Let's go after the dry, before the effect.
So I'm going to say. Or was that pre-tank?
Pre-tank.
Pre-tank? Okay, let's go pre-tank. So the compression's only on the reverb now.
Yeah.
Is there a preferred ratio you have?
Oh, like 5.
5 to 1?
Yeah.
Because you can change it, but it's 5 to 1 now. Well, maybe if we set it
Gets really kind of
on the dry as well, so that's on the dry signal as well. So that's a makeup gain as well.
Oh, I think a growly.
So maybe turn the makeup gain down a little bit.
I like it actually just on the effect.
Just on the effect?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to that. Location pre. And we've got a fast attack and a slow release.
Sure.
You happy with that?
Yeah, because it's really squishy.
Okay, and the mix is all the way up. Okay, so compressor.
Awesome.
We've compressed. Now, do you want some drive?
Sure.
Of some sort. So do you want...
On the reverb.
Do you want... okay, just on the reverb. Okay,
Yeah.
do you want tube, transistor, or op-amp?
Op-amp?
Op-amp, okay. And you want it only on the...
Yeah, just like this cool growly room you're in. Gnarly room.
And I reckon that's a good one to select on here so you can quickly adjust your gain. So now you have gain on... So this is just on the...
Yep.
It's not on your dry signal. Okay, done. Next, would you like to apply some filtering at all?
Oh, yeah.
So let's just see what... I mean, you can do a lot of stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff to it.
Yep.
Do you want a parametric, a state variable, or a ladder style filter?
Which one do I want?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ladder style. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And you want this... I think let's have this on both the dry and the...
Okay.
But now I think what we should do is we should assign the frequency of that to a modifier.
Yeah.
So we got to go to modifier now, and let's go to LFOA, and we go to LFOA assign. So now we want to assign LFOA to... The only thing is you've got to scroll through all this stuff. That's the only downside to all this. But we want to go to filter, and we want filter frequency.
Cool.
So now modifier A. So now we've assigned an LFO. An LFO is basically a wave shape that it's like someone twists a knob for you, basically.
Yeah. It's like having a friend.
Yeah. So and you can maybe let's not have the minimum all the way down, because then it goes all the way to like it'll go away completely. And the mix, let's have the mix all the way up. And LFOA, where's the speed for LFOA? Yeah. Okay. So now it should be modulating the filter. So one thing you've got to do is when you assign a modifier, when you assign an LFO, the LFO goes from nothing to wherever it's set. So it was quite dark because the filter was set quite dark. So I had to go back and make the filter brighter,
Also,
so it goes up higher.
what if we back the mix off
Okay.
to have that kind of value?
No, overall mix or
on the was there a mix on the filter?
no, there's only minimum and maximum.
Yeah, sure. Cool, but that's pretty cool. Like weird sort of lo-fi swampy thing.
Now the other question is to how fast do you want it? And I mean we can change it. So it's at the moment it's a triangle.
Yep.
But we can change it to be a
Square wave.
sine square. Okay.
That's weird, but cool.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. But I mean, and also now we can go back, for example, we can go back to the filter and location. We can, for example, change it so it's not on your dry signal. We can just make it go on the, like try it just on a reverb. Where did you like it the best?
That I was listening.
Post.
Yes.
Okay, let's leave it at post. So I mean, again, I mean, it's limitless what you can do, and then you have all these other things. So you can, for example, we can say we want to, I don't know, modulate something else. Do you want to modulate something, modify something else?
No, I'm scared.
Well, okay, what we can, for example, do, the other thing that there is, for example, pitch, which you haven't looked at yet. And how about we assign pitch to this?
Sure.
We add some sort of pitch thing to this. So pitch type, do we want polychromatic? Yeah, just chromatic.
Sure.
Chromatic pitch shifting, sure. And then location, what do you want the location? Do you want it on your dry signal as well?
No, just the effect.
Should we put it pre-tank? Pre-tank. Let's see what that does.
Okay.
And then pitch, do we want to go up, down? What do you want to do?
Sideways, inside out. Maybe up.
An octave or?
Yeah.
Well, that should be an octave, isn't it? 12?
12 meters squared. Yes.
So what does that sound like now?
Done. Save that. Alex's weird 3-4 time.
Okay. So now I scroll. It's a bit of scrolling always you got to do, but hold assign. So what we can now do is hold is this.
Yeah, cool.
So let's assign that to the pitch. Where's pitch? Pitch. Should we assign it to pitch mix? Yeah, let's assign it to pitch mix. And we want it to be not momentary but latching.
Yeah.
So we can turn it on and off. And we want... Well, what does that do now? Is it... So you can make it momentary latching. So momentary meaning you've got to hold it in, or latching it turns on and off. So now we're turning the pitch, the mix up and down. So you have
Yeah.
pitch or no pitch. I mean, again, this is limitless what you can do. I forgot there's also sample and hold thing on there. There's tons of stuff on there. But I mean, that is just a quick sort of running through things. Now, you can assign, like I said, there's a 16-step modifier sequencer. So you can set steps and you can go through them. You can go through them by pushing that one at a time. So each time it goes to another step, you can assign an LFO to it to make it run at a certain speed. It's just about limitless what you can do with it. So should we now maybe, there may have been a few sort of sound clips that happened. I don't know. I haven't edited the video. I'm filming it still. But should we just do a couple of sound clips now at the end before we go?
Yeah, maybe check out
a few different sounds.
presets and see
and
what comes out of the box.
See what comes out of the box. So that was the Mercury X by Meris. Pretty much, I think, if you like reverb and you like ambienty sort of stuff and you like experimenting with reverby sort of sounds, just about limitless what you can do with this thing. And the sounds are all really, really good quality. The stereo sounds are awesome.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
So who's it for? Like, it's obviously up there with features, sound quality, even price is up there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of up there with the best of the best when it comes to reverbs.
I think it's one of, because also you've got stereo in, stereo out. I think you can also assign whether you want line level or instrument level or, you know, what goes in and out. This could pretty much be a studio rack mount. I mean, instead of one of those.
Yeah.
Or instead of, I mean, the 78 stuff I think is very influenced by Lexicon reverbs from studios. This is sort of a Lexicon kind of reverb to the next level.
Yeah, for the future.
Because I mean, you can do just about anything with it. So I mean, if you someone who's really into reverbs, whether you're playing guitar, whether you're playing synth, whether you're in a studio, I think this is it is one of those just about anything reverbs.
Obviously, also things like cinematic and TV film
Yeah.
score.
Oh yeah.
releases.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can play one note and just
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it.
Make-
Infinite reverb and just
Yeah.
make it just
horror film waiting to happen.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously sounds great. It's pretty easy to get around just because of the amount of menu options. It does sometimes take a minute.
It's just as long as you kind of remember the main thing you're always looking at the parameter. You can change the graphic view as well,
Oh yeah, sure.
where it's all listed, but then it's even more menu diving. I think with this, as long as you remember the main category you've got selected is in the middle, and the bigger bubble on the left that you select with this is what is currently selected, and then this controls it.
But that just takes 5 minutes to get used to.
Yeah. Once you get used to it, yeah.
Yep. Hope you guys like it. Leave a comment below. Have you tried one of these before? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Is it on the wish list?
Yeah.
Thanks again to Studio Connections here in Australia, in Meris.
Yeah, for sending this out to us. I'm going to put up a playlist with all the Meris stuff we've done in the past at the end of the video, and I'm going to say it is probably the end of the video, so I'm putting it here.
Thanks for hanging. See you soon. Bye.